10 months before the presidential elections.
The historic launching of the National People's Party was arguably the most anticipated event since its formation in 2019. Tens of thousands of people filled the Independence Stadium in Bakau in what could be described as the largest gathering of party supporters and militants. Several prominent political figures also attended the event. The social
Well, we hope to bring you details of that report later on in the news. Now, moving ahead to some legal matters now, because where His Excellency President Adama Barrow today presided over the opening of the legal year 2021 at the Law Court Complex in Banjul. The ceremony, witnessed by the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Toure, Cabinet Ministers, and the Chief Justice, Hassan B. Jallow, has meant for taking of the machinery of justice, reflection on its challenges, and dialogue underway forward for the legal profession and the administrating of justice in the country. President Barrow commended the Justice Ministry for providing an independent, effective, and efficient justice system. Khadija Juwara was at the ceremony and she files in this report.
The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, Sunday presided over the opening of the legal year 2021. The event, held at the Law Courts Complex in Banjul, was attended by the Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure, Cabinet Minister Judiciary. In his speech, the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, congratulates the Justice Ministry for their commitment in providing an effective, efficient, and independent justice system for all.
Let me assure you that my government remains firm and passionate about promoting and upholding good governance. The rule of law and respect for human rights are spelled out in the National Development Plan 2018-2021.
President Barrow urged the citizenry to respond and participate in the development of the country. In his keynote address, the Chief Justice, Hassan B. Jallow, said the objective of the annual occasion is for stock-taking of the machinery of justice, reflects on challenges, dialogue to meeting the challenges, and promotes the rule of law in communities through timely delivery of justice.
The object of this occasion, now a regular item on the state annual calendar since 1982, continues to be the same. That is an occasion for stock-taking of the machinery of justice, reflection on the challenges, and dialogue on the way forward to meeting those challenges and to promoting the rule of law in our community.
Reporting for GRTS News, I am Khadija Juwara.
And now elsewhere, Mbayan Wolof, Kayai Nyanijar, and Kir Ali Jale are the latest communities to receive modern beekeeping materials from officials of the large-scale ecosystem-based adaptation project. Suma Jadama is with the environmental delegation and he's sent in this report from Bakadaji in Nyanijar district where the handing over took place.
EBA project extended its eco-friendly beekeeping support to hard-to-reach communities battling climate change. On behalf of beneficiary communities, Alajiba of Kaya Nyanija and Jenaban Dao of Mbayan Wolof commended the benefactors for the timely intervention.
This beekeeping is very important for society because it's helped us more, especially the village development committee. Yeah, we are very appreciative of this EBA project. Them take this as a serious thing because it's an income generation. Let them keep it up and utilize the job as it is supposed to be.
Léegi ñun wàllu kees yëmb yi soxlahuñ fu sori ak fi nga xam ne nii bëgguñ fa safara te dinañ ko mën a sàmm ba nga xam ne dara du ko mën a yàq.
These handing over activities as witness simulation on beekeeping by officials of Beekeepers Gambia Association. Suma W. Jadama reporting for GRTS.
And now we'll look at some transportation challenges where it's a daily struggle, rather daily story of struggle for students going to school across the urban centers in the Gambia. The struggle for transport, especially during rush hours, continues to hit hard, particularly on school-going children in the inner city areas. GRTS's Ibrahim Ajala examines the transport trouble firsthand and captured reactions of students and top executives of the national transport sector.
Traveling to and from school is becoming a nightmare, at least for students in the Greater Banjul area. Local drivers chasing daily ends meet seem to care less about passenger satisfaction. It is 6 p.m. and we are in the capital city Banjul, witnessing the closing of school for those in the evening shift. Here also we are witnessing the transport challenges students encounter on a daily basis while trying to reach their various destinations. This is a routine problem according to the students. The problem is caused by some of the drivers who may not want to go directly to the destinations, but instead segmentalize the traffic so that they maximize their income. Consequently, passengers, especially students, spend more energy to get to their desired destinations.
What we do here from the apprentice, it is that it doesn't favor us. So what we need here is a school bus. When we have a school bus, it's going to be a very good thing for us.
The situation appears risky too, as many students reach home late and in some cases trek to their homes after sunset.
These people are stopped at the traffic light, Sugra traffic light, around the Salaji area. Yes. So for me, I'm going to Latria around the Java.
Sometimes it's difficult to have 9 or 8. Most of them have 9 o'clock.
Meanwhile, most of the students stranded in Banjul on Tuesday evening were picked up later, thanks to the Gambia Transport Service Company. At Westfield, one of the busiest connecting centers in the metropolis, the struggle for transport is even more.
You see how students are here, no vehicle. Even you have your fare, you are not going to have a vehicle. Vehicles are not stopping, buses are not enough. As you can see, look at the students. Look at the students. We are having our fares. We are not having vehicles. Since 5:30, for us, we closed from school all the way from Muslim. However, we came up to here. We don't find our bus driver here, no vehicles. We are having our fares, no vehicles. So we are appealing to the head of state, Ministry of Education, head of state, even philanthropists, whoever can help the students.
Commercial drivers met in traffic at the time of coverage declined to comment on the issue. However, off camera, they often put the blame on the cost of fuel, traffic jam, and lack of central garages. Omar Sise is the president of the Gambia Transport Union and had this to say.
All this will be congestion of traffic. No, driver is a businessman looking for profit. To spend 1 hour dividing to 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers, end of the day working on losses. That's why they use their strategies. But what we expect, what can make things easier, the government is to regulate the sector, especially the road users and the way the people are using the roads. I think if you do that, things will be resolved as soon as possible.
The Gambian transport sector largely rely on commercial operators. However, their actions are said to be deviating the traffic rules at the expense of commuters. Ibrahim Jallo, GRTS News.
Now, from the report by Ibrahim Ajala, we head straight to one of our lead stories where the President, His Excellency Adam Barrow, on Saturday presided over the official launch of the National People's Party at a grand ceremony held at the Independence Stadium in Bakau. The historic event attracted thousands of party supporters who filled the Independence Stadium in what could be described as the biggest gathering of people in the history of the new party. And as we hear in this report by Momodou Jallo, this launch of the NPP is set to redraw the political landscape barely 10 months before the presidential elections.
The historic launching of the National People's Party was arguably the most anticipated event since its formation in 2019. Tens of thousands of people filled the Independence Stadium in Bakau in what could be described as the largest gathering of party supporters and militants. Several prominent political figures also attended the event. The momentum had been building since morning and climaxed with the president's arrival, escorted by thousands of people on foot and horseback through the Kairaba Avenue to the Independence Stadium. After the euphoria had subsided, party officials took turns to address the crowds, expressing delight in seeing such an unprecedented turnout. Mamanyik Nyai, the administrative secretary of the party, described the event as a turning point in the Gambia's political development, adding that the NPP will positively contribute to national development and democracy. He reassured that the party has opened its doors to all Gambians, irrespective of their ethnic or religious backgrounds, as it is guided by the principles of integrity, respect, and freedom. The regional chairman of the party in the municipality, Unda Nyang, welcomed delegates to the historic launching, adding that it marks a new era of political consciousness, as it has given citizens a choice to showcase their political preference. The National Women's Mobilizer, Maimuna Balde, described women as the backbone of the party, and therefore urged them to continue to empower President Barrow to ensure victory in the presidential election slated for December this year. A representative of the diaspora, Lamin Demba, disclosed that the NPP has made significant inroads in attracting support within the diaspora community, but reassured that they will continue to reach out to as many countries as possible by opening new branches to attract Gambians. The national president of the party, Alhaji Dembo Bojang, who has positioned himself as a staunch supporter of President Barrow, said the Gambian leader has the right credentials, integrity, and charisma to lead the country, describing him as a true patriot and committed servant of the people. He therefore appealed to all Gambians to join the NPP, as it remains the only champion of democracy, good governance, and development. In his launching statement, President Barrow welcomed the formation of the NPP party as a true reflection of the will and aspirations of the Gambian people who entrusted him with their destiny. The president therefore reassured that he is up to the task and will deliver as expected.
I have accepted to form this party, together with all of you, to provide a platform for us to collectively fight the social divisions, the political cracks, and institutional failures that have persistently undermined the peace, stability, progress, and development of our dear motherland. Be assured that this is a party devoted to creating, expanding, and sustaining space for popular participation in development as politically mature, democratic, patriotic, and economically independent citizens.
President Barrow acknowledged the challenges that lie ahead, but argued that with the support and right attitude, the future looks bright, as his administration has already laid robust foundations for the socio-economic and political advancement of the country. He vowed to continue on this development trajectory, saying the NPP is the answer to the challenges we face as a country.
Our party's vision is to build a nation we can proudly call home. This is derived from the desire for positive, transformative change that will result in an all-inclusive, all-progressive, and an accomplished society of happy, peaceful, dignified, and united people who are proud to call Gambia home. We believe in democracy for good governance, as it is defined by the law and approved by the people. We do not believe in any form of governance that contravenes the Gambia's shared ideals and values. Accordingly, we denounce and reject all forms of dictatorship and degrading treatment of human beings or communities. We believe that all are equal before the law, and all human beings have the same fundamental rights to life and good living.
The Gambian leader outlined a comprehensive plan of action as contained in the party manifesto to address all areas of development, but laid emphasis on youth and women empowerment as priority areas that will receive significant attention.
We believe that the youth should be meaningfully involved in discussions, and decision-making on youth matters intensify as part of the strategies to address youth unemployment, crime, illegal migration, drug abuse, and all devices associated with this invaluable resource of the nation. The women of Gambia are part of the political and economic vanguard of the nation. They constitute a bigger percent of the Gambian population than their male compatriots and contribute very significantly towards nation building.
The president therefore reached out to all Gambians to embrace the NPP party, describing it as a party of the masses. With barely a year since it was formed, the NPP has already broken new grounds by contesting and winning 2 by-elections in Nyamina and Jokadu. With the official launching of the NPP, the party leadership and its supporters are hopeful that this will give the party the leverage to galvanize Gambians to replicate the feat that President Barrow achieved 5 years ago when he swept the polls in a historic landslide. Mohamed Diallo, GRTS News.
And now, a young man believed to be in his 20s is currently in police custody, helping the police in their investigations. The suspect, who was apprehended by the municipal police, is alleged to have been behind the setting of the Bakoteh dump site on fire. Janke Ture has details of that in this report.
Another fire outbreak at the Bakoteh dump site met KMC police on alert to control the blaze. Officials say a young man in his 20s and a resident of Dipakunda set the affected area on fire in the late hours of Saturday. The suspect was apprehended by the municipal police when things were about to escalate and is currently at the police station for investigation.
Yesterday around 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the evening, and the police were intensifying patrol within the the dump site area, and they sighted a suspect lighting, took a match and put a fire on the dump site at a certain portions, and he was apprehended by the municipal police and with the assistance of the members of the community, apprehended and detained for a while. And during the course of he was briefly interrogated, and he made mention that actually he is responsible, and he was sent by a group of people to shed light on this.
Really, it was really serious, especially when there was an explosion in zone 3, and then the fire went to the other side, where you have the material of the scavengers, and then within those materials there are some explosive materials, and these are affected us.
The fire lasted for 2 hours before it was put under control by the municipal police and the fire and rescue services. As the KMC officials are working to reduce air pollution in the area, this latest fire outbreak continues to affect residents.
If this fire has escalated, it will disturb the neighborhood. And thank God that immediately when this fire was about to spark to the other areas, the community joined the police and to put up the fire, and a tank was requested also to bring water, and when the water was brought here, actually it was put off.
Bakoteh dump site is situated in between 3 densely populated communities of Bakoteh, Dipakunda and Manjaikunda, and this is not the first time of such an undesirable circumstances. Last year in August, the council embarks on erecting a perimeter fence for security purposes to control movements in and out of the dump site. This, as officials believed, once completed, will prevent such occurrence. They use the opportunity to warn youth to desist from this unlawful act.
As you can see, this place is already full to capacity. We are just trying to manage, and I have always been emphasizing that the Bakoteh dump site is a national duty for all stakeholders, because if you looked at it across the board, it's affecting education, it's affecting health, and even agriculture in some aspect. So the government should therefore try to support us, to be able to relocate this place to other areas. When we fence is completed, there will be maximum security. There will be only 2 doors, and then you can see the fence is 2 tall.
A worrying situation as the trend continues by youngsters. The suspect is currently under police custody for investigation, but mitigating fire outbreaks that cause serious pollution of the neighborhood, including the SOS Children's Village, schools and hospitals, should be a collective effort from all and sundry. For the news, I am Janke Ture.
The Women's Bureau under the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare organized a 2-day capacity building for the National Women Councillors at the Regional Education Office in Janjambure in the Central River region. Bernadette Sane witnessed the ceremony and she filed in this report.
The UNICEF-supported training is expected to enhance the step-down training of women and communities they represent. The communication officer at the Women's Bureau, Nene Toure, reminded the lady councillors of their role in society. She urged women to advocate for positive change in society. The chairperson, National Women Council, Madam Aissatou Dié Sawane said women councillors are selected by an act of parliament and should live up to expectations. Gender-based violence issues are on the increase and needs to be addressed. This, she added, was the reason the Women's Bureau organized this training for the women. At the end of the training, the lady councillors will be given a financial package to facilitate their trainings at community level. Lady Councillor Michelle Mendy of Nyomi in North Bank region explained how the training is going to help the advocacy work at community level.
It's all about women. This is about how we are advocating women empowering and women in gender-based violence. We want to put a stop onto it. That's why we have this training, so that those who are not aware of it, they will know what is the impact in this FGM, early marriage, and rape. So those are the things that we train, and we want to go back to our people, sensitize them in this so that they can know it. Because some of them, they've been hearing about it, but they don't know the impact, they don't know what is behind it. So if you don't tell them what is there, you just tell them it's not good. You have to tell them and give them the reasons why they are not good. That's why we are so happy to be here with our people, so that when we go back, we'll see how best we can train them.
This training will be followed up by a training of other women's groups. For the news, I am Bernadette Sani.
Still in the Central River region, where the 4th edition of Janjanbureh Cultural Festival has been successfully held in the island city of Janjanbureh. The 3-day event witnessed some spectacular display of culture and tradition, showcasing famous masquerades in the sub-region. The event was graced by senior officials of the National Center for Arts and Culture and a cross-section of the society. Modila Minsane picks up the rest of that story.
Janjanbureh comes together for another exciting cultural festival celebrating ancient norms and the Gambia's unique masquerade tradition. The delightful island is a cultural melting pot and custodian of the Gambia's masquerade tradition. A concurrent center is Janjanbureh, one of the most important cultural settlements in the Gambia. This year's event conveyed colorful cultural groups from different communities parading in their best regalia to perform and formally open the Janjanbureh Kankuran Festival 2021. The Janjanbureh Kankuran Festival is a crucial celebration that underscores the role of the Kankuran masquerade as an authority for community unity. The weekend carnival also revives the Gambia's old norms, revitalizing important ceremonies of male initiation and their cultural journey through rites of passage. Attendants and dignitaries were treated to exciting performance, exhibiting the Gambia's unique way and culture. The official opening was a customary occasion for the organizers to remind people about the purpose and importance of this major cultural event.
The purpose basically for the festival is to showcase the cultural expression of the Kankurang and other Maxim tradition of West Africa, so that the island, that is Janjanbureh, will gain visibility and attract more and more visitors who would like to experience an intangible, authentic cultural heritage.
That moment will set the stage for the showcasing of different traditions, including the unique Janjanbureh Kankurang.
Culture depicts the reality of any society. For any society to grow in real fact, have to go with its culture. Therefore, Janjanbureh youths coming up with their cultural festival, depicting the Kankurang as one of the main sources in Janjanbureh, I think is the right thing in the right direction. We thank you so much for that. And the development of any state can never go without the youths. And here in Janjanbureh is what we are seeing.
This is one big cultural event authorities are hoping to sustain in a bid to preserve the country's ancient cultures.
People who are also incapable of maintaining their heritage is also a people that are bound for doom. Janjanbureh you have a big onus, you have a big task to make sure that this heritage lives on. You pass it down from generation to generation so that it doesn't get lost. This is something I want to bestow to you.
The Gambia ratified the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage Convention, and 2 years later the Kankurang was inscribed as a masterpiece of intangible cultural heritage. And this festival will continue. The ministry, the NCAC, and the other partners will continue to support the community so that this festival will become like a permanent feature in the calendar of cultural events of the Gambia.
The exciting cultural carnival exhibited other masquerades rarely seen, such as the Banjul hunting and the flamboyant-looking Zimba, which joined the highlight of Kankurang masquerades to keep up the spectacular night-long performance. Modu Lamin Sane reporting for GRTS News from the Central River region.
Well, time now to take our first break. The news continues shortly. Do stay with us.
Meet Sarah and Tracy from the top 8 finalists of the Be a Star Sierra Leone. Their lives changed from day one. New original songs. Be famous and successful. Be a star in the Gambia.
In the biggest stage right now in Sierra Leone.
Being a part of Be a Star is going a step further in chasing my dreams and my career as an artist.
All you have to do is record a video of you singing your favorite song, not more than 2 minutes long. Send the video by WhatsApp to the following number, 2299944, using an AfriCell number. State your name and where you're from. Be a winner of a fully recorded album and $500,000. AfriCell Be a Star, your road to success.
Welcome back to GRTS News, and now we shift attention to news beyond our shores, and now we head to South Africa, where the World Bank has committed $12 billion for vaccinations across Africa. According to a statement by the South African president, the World Bank funding would be in the form of grants or loans on highly concessional terms. Now, CGT Nzilis Angelo has more in this report.
The $12 billion has been earmarked for developing countries to finance the purchase and distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. It's also for the testing and treatment of the citizens of different countries on the African continent. According to the World Bank, the financing aims to support the vaccination of up to 1 billion people. The cost of vaccinating 60% of Africa's 1.3 billion people would cost between 10 billion and 15 billion US dollars. That's according to the Africa Centers for Disease Control, or Africa CDC. So far, the continent has not been able to keep up with the rollout of the vaccines, unlike the developed nations. The richer nations managed to secure the jabs earlier on. The Africa CDC says the African continent has so far secured 36% of its vaccine needs. 25% of the doses are to come from the COVAX initiative. Another 11% are expected from a separate African Union program. In a statement by the South African presidency, AU Chair Cyril Ramaphosa expressed disappointment that developing economies on the continent were facing challenges in accessing vaccines. The disappointment, he said, has been enhanced by the knowledge that a number of clinical trials for the same vaccines were carried out here on the continent. Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 early last year, the World Bank has committed some $25 billion for African countries to support their health and economic recovery. Yolisa Njamela for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Now, elsewhere, Somalia has expanded its Senate by allocating additional seats in the country's most populous region, Benadir. Last year, lawmakers approved a resolution that would cede the 13 extra seats included in Somalia Upper House of Parliament. CGTN's Abdul Aziz below reports.
Rallied in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu, to celebrate a major political milestone. President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo has signed into law a parliamentary resolution that grants the Benadir region 13 seats in the upcoming Senate. The region also includes the capital, Mogadishu.
Mogadishu is the brains of the Somali nation and home to every Somali. If it gets its representation, the whole country is represented. The residents of Benadir have been patient despite all odds, and we thank the leadership for pushing through with this agenda.
In June, the federal parliament approved the resolution initially presented by the country's president, in effect expanding the Senate from 54 to 67 seats. The senators represent the country's 5 regional states and Somaliland, a breakaway region in the north that's been seeking statehood for close to 3 decades now. However, there are concerns on how the new representatives to the Senate will be elected. Some opposition leaders are warning against implementing the new law, saying it's a plan by the government to derail the upcoming general election that has been postponed several times in the past.
The additional seats will likely create differences among political stakeholders. It can create a rift between regional states because many see this as a political gamble by the current administration.
And a new electoral law signed in September last year, regional parliaments will elect senators while an electoral college will elect new parliamentarians. Both houses will eventually pick Somalia's 10th president. Elsewhere, the 2 regional states of Puntland and Jubaland have finally submitted their representatives to the interim electoral body, ending months of uncertainty. Meanwhile, the UN's top diplomat to the country has been visiting regional states, meeting regional and federal leaders in efforts to end months-long electoral impasse.
We continue to urge Somali leaders of goodwill to redouble their efforts to resolve the outstanding issues of implementation of the electoral process and resolve those issues through dialogue and to reach agreement on the way forward for the good of the country.
There is no clear date set for the Senate parliamentary and presidential elections. The official term for both houses of parliament ended in November and December 2020, while President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo's official tenure ends on the 8th of February. Analysts say leaders must now strike a deal in efforts to end any uncertainty and possible threat of violence in the run-up to the crucial vote. Abdul Aziz Bilo, CGTN, Mogadishu, Somalia.
And from the report by CGTN's Abdul Aziz Bilal, we'll take a recap of our top stories once again. Now, thousands of supporters converged at the Independence Stadium on Saturday to witness the grand launch of the National People's Party by the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow. The legal fraternity on Sunday converged at the Law Courts Complex in Banjul to open the legal year 2021, which was presided by the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow. The ceremony reviewed the achievements and challenges of the judiciary and judicial systems of the Gambia. And communities in Central River region have benefited from beekeeping materials as part of ongoing efforts by the large-scale ecosystem-based adaptation project to build community resilience against climate change. And in the internationals, the World Bank commits $12 billion for vaccinations across Africa, according to a statement by the South African president. Although it was all in this edition of the news at 8, join me again at 2200 hours, inshallah, for another bulletin. Until then, enjoy the rest of our programs.
Imagine your life without connection. Every change comes with new challenges and opportunities. So now is the time for a new normal, new habits, new ways of communicating your love, needs and ambitions. AfriCell makes it possible. Staying apart, together, with one heart.
As the Gambia nears its 56th independence anniversary,
GRTS, in observance of this important event in the nation's calendar, is proud to inform its partners and prospective clients that there is a massive discount on its regular tariff. Yes, buy a minimum of 10 slots of television or radio commercial or airtime and enjoy a massive discount of 25%. Yes, 25%. Enjoy this whooping discount commencing February 1st to February 28, 2021. Rush now to book a spot on your national television to reach wide and diverse audiences. For more information, call 437-8775 or 437-7214.